As always, nice to know where people are joining us from, so you can let us know in the chat whereabouts you're calling in from today. I know that we always get a decent US audience, so let us know which state you're joining us from, but also let us know if you're joining from outside the States as well. Always good to hear our more international attendees too. Okay, folks, so we are now live streaming as well, and we have people letting us know where they're joining from. We have a whole mixture of places, which is always great to see. And I'm just going to share my screen. Good stuff. Okay, guys, let's kick things off. So we still have a few people joining. We're just going to start things off now with a couple of kind of housekeeping items from myself before we get into the real juicy details. So welcome everyone to today's town hall. As always, we are live streaming, as you've probably already noticed, and we are recording the session. So if at any point you get disconnected, go and check out our YouTube page, LinkedIn, or Facebook. You will see the stream there as well. You can also let us know if you are on the live stream right now. Shoot us comments and we can look at those and check for any questions there if you're joining from those channels. As always, we'll start off with some product updates and then we'll move into an audience Q&A. You can use the Q&A functionality at the bottom of your screen to let us know your question. That's a bit easier than using the chat. It's easiest for us to keep a track of them. Also, when we get to the end of the session, we will allow people to come on stage to ask their question. You'll be able to use the raised hand function. If you go down to reactions at the bottom, click in there, click raise hand, we'll be able to see that you're interested in come on stage to ask your question. So before we kind of move over to product updates though, we have a little giveaway to announce. So as some of you probably already know from past town halls and from our social media and from our emails, we will be going to the VRMA International Conference October 22nd to 25th in Disney's Coronado Springs Resort, Orlando. And we'd love to see some of our customers there, obviously. So we want to kind of give an opportunity for folks to join us. So we've got 2 tickets to give away. So 1 ticket for 1 person and then another person wins one, not 2 tickets each. And so we want to give you the opportunity because you're attending our town hall here on Zoom or YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook to grab one of those tickets. So basically to enter for a chance to win, just drop us an emoji reaction in the chat. And that way we'll be able to see if you're interested in joining us. Great if you can drop in an alligator/crocodile, but any kind of emoji will do. Let us know in the chat and in the comments. And then at the end, we'll basically do a draw. We'll probably have to do that after the town hall, but we'll let you know if you're a winner. So yeah, get dropping your reactions now, and we'll come back later and remind you folks of that. But now we're going to move over to some product updates. And first we have Andrew with Direct.
We have a disclaimer. Okay. Skip the disclaimer. All right. Yeah, we've got lots of good news today for Direct. We're going to start off by announcing another milestone. So if you were with us approximately 53 and a half days ago, we announced we had hit $1 million in bookings. Today, it's $2 million in direct premium bookings. So that's a nice milestone. It's great for the company. It's great for hosts too. It means we're that much more experienced and we're having that much more success, and we've come a long way. So it took us 155 days to get to the first million. It took us 54 days to get the second million. And as we're looking at our Q4 OKRs as a company, what we're focusing on, a lot of the initiatives that we're looking at in Q4 is to help convert more bookings. So things we talk about in town halls, how to convert larger bookings, how to help people out with payment terms, etc. So it's a good metric for us, and it's a good metric for all of our direct hosts as well. More good news. This slide, if you've been to town halls before, you might notice that the emoji has changed. I think it was an hourglass last week. It was probably some frustrated emoji the previous town hall. GVR is live. We got good news from Google this morning. They contacted us and said we did pass the pricing audit. And then we tried to figure out if that meant we were live. And finally, we were able to start finding hospitable properties. And so we've got, you see there, we have 1,684 properties that you guys, all direct customers, basic and premium, can be involved with Google. You go to channels, you've scoped properties. This is how many we have right now. If you see there are 133 that are still getting processed. So when you scope your direct properties to Google, it does take them up to 2 weeks to process images, to process your content, to do the validations that they do. And then you'll start to see it in Google and Google Travel and Google Search, etc. So right now we have 1,551 sites that are live on Google. We're going to start sharing with you. We're still trying to figure out how we can pull all those URLs in from Google so you can immediately see your property. But if you are scoped for GVR and you're live, you can also just search and find yourself on the map. So Miles, we can just look at those, what that looks like. So if you go to Google Travel, that's the easiest way to do it. You can also get it from the Google search bar. If you do the right terms, they'll start showing your short-term rental content. And there you see there's a Hospitable listing at the top of the listings there. Zoom out on the map and they're listing now your direct content. So if you click on your listing there, you'll go to a landing page from Google, and then that will drive them to your direct booking website to complete the payment and convert to a booking. That is still at this moment only available to Hospitable URLs and Hospitable sites. I think we do have a path to get there for custom URLs, at least, possibly also custom sites. But because of the way Google does it, we have to be a little bit careful how we do that, because they give us a score as a channel partner, and we do have to provide a reliable uptime on all those things. We've talked about that before. So at the moment, you are required to have a Hospitable URL, a Hospitable site. If you don't have one, they're really easy to make, but we do anticipate being able to support custom sites and custom URLs soon. But great news for a lot of our direct hosts. We're going to be monitoring that and report back on how effective that is as a channel and future town halls. But super excited, and thank you all for your patience. This has been a long slog. It was a lot of complexity involved, a lot of lost time and different, rabbit holes that we went down with Google together. But it's live now, and we hope to have really, really good news and a high performing channel for you guys on direct. So thanks for all your feedback. Thanks for all your patience along the way. Big news there. And 2 big items didn't feel like enough. So we've got a third for you. Miles, if you could. So we've got a working demo now for multi-property search. This was something that also was just like, why do we not have this yet? It was a pretty complicated move on the back end. This is a very simple front end demo at the moment, but we're pretty happy with the way it's looking. What we've done is basically really the latest frameworks for front-end widgets now. We built this in, so kudos to Ben on our front-end development team. He knocked this out, and it's built really, really well, which means it's fully extensible, meaning it's really easy for us to style this in all kinds of different ways. So it's going to be great on custom sites. What we have right now is still a very early version. We're still doing a lot of tweaks on the look and feel and the design for this. But it's going to be highly skinnable in the sense that you'll really be able to match it to the look and feel of your custom sites. And any of you that are, large inventory property managers, this was a huge pain point, we know. And so we wanted to get here. We knew it was complicated. I thought it was actually going to take longer than this. So we're super excited, and this should be live. We're going to be kind of careful about rolling it out. We're going to do some private pilot with some sites just to make sure the back end is scaling well. It is a pretty complex search for next week. So we'll be reaching out to people next week and starting to trial this. I don't think it'll take much longer than that. And we'll start to roll it out to all the templates for Hospitable sites, and then the widget itself for custom sites. So you can start dropping this into your custom sites. So big items. I'm excited. I hope you're excited as well. But yeah, really, really good work coming online for direct. And a few more things to cover then. So beyond multi-property search, which is that widget that we just looked at. We did lose some time on adjustments. We did ad hoc refunds already, so that's been live. But yeah, our developer on the ad hoc fees was lost a week due to illness last week. So unfortunately, we didn't have what I was hoping was a launch for ad hoc fees as well today, but that's going to be coming soon. I think we're going to have a working demo probably tomorrow, and probably look at end of next week to be launching ad hoc fees as well. That is a pay by link feature. So for direct basic customers, you've already been able to do this from the Stripe backend. We're going to help you do that from Hospitable, so we can track it better for you, so you can see how it affects your reservation within Hospitable as well. And then on the direct premium side, it'll be a similar pay by link, and everything will be integrated within the flow with Hospitable. Otherwise, AutoHost, who is our partner on guest vetting for premium, they've given us a great piece of product, we're going to be able to do the full guest profile in the inbox. We've been testing that out this week. Still some things to debug, but we should be close on that. So you're going to be able to get the ID and the selfie that we capture from the guest. So you have that further validation if you need that for your own reporting. We've already captured that from the guest, so we'll be sharing that with you now, and you'll be able to get all the same profile information that we have now in the Hospitable inbox without having to leave the site. Pet fees. Yeah, I wasn't expecting this either, but I had a great office hour call. So yeah, shout out to the people that spend time booking office hours and giving us feedback. I think it was Brad who called me on Monday and kind of made a case for this, and we didn't really have a good reason to push back. I think I was hesitant before because we knew there's some delicacies with the law on service animals and things like that. But we did see some good implementations of how this can be handled. So we really had no reason to push back. And we just went ahead and got on the roadmap. If you saw in the multi-property search demo, we did include pet fees on there. So it's already kind of a work in progress. Hopefully that can be out by the end of next week too. I know that's been a small thing, but a pretty big thorn in a lot of people's side. So we're happy to have pet fees going live soon too. And then, yeah, we are in progress with expanding direct premium to Canada and the UK. We got stalled a little bit on Canada, while the legal entity side of it, the legal entity, side of it was not as complicated as we thought. The tax side is a little bit complicated in Canada, and our tax provider doesn't have a perfect setup yet. So we're still working through some issues with them. And we might end up having UK live before that, as long as the taxes aren't a big problem there. I can help with taxes. Thank you, Derek, for the help in the chat there with our tax situation. And yeah, otherwise, a little bit longer term on the direct side, we are working on winding down the legacy widgets. That'll be an even more, I guess, a carrot to it instead of a stick. And the fact that what we've learned building the multi-property search widget that we just demoed, really the technology has changed, and we have such a much better path to do this that we'll probably just completely rewrite the current booking widget that we have, make it a lot more modern, a lot more extensible, like we said. And that will be, again, in this kind of V2 widget URL that we have. So anyone that's using the old style URL, we are going to be reaching out to you to change. We're kind of working with some of the custom site partners right now, like Boostly, to make sure that you guys have a path to easily update your widget URLs for your properties in time. But this is, yeah, specific to people using custom sites that are using widgets. We will be reaching out with further information soon. And then the big projects, quotes we should be actually getting to quite soon on the dev side. I'm really excited. We've done the product design work on that. We have some really great hosts who have sent us beautiful long Loom videos documenting exactly how they want this to work. So we've gotten great feedback from you guys on that. So really excited I think we're going to solve a lot of pain points with the quotes implementation, and we're going to be on that soon. As soon as we finish the ad hoc fees, we're going to have developer resources to look at that. And then after that, it's, again, we talked about the Q4 initiatives at the start, helping drive more transactions for you guys. That's scheduled payments, midterm stays, those kind of things. So you can have recurring monthly payments for people that are doing long bookings, as well as people that book a long time out, a long lead time, or a very large purchase price. We'll just take a deposit if you like us to, and then we can take 2 or 3 payments in the meantime to help convert more people on those larger bookings or the longer lead times. And then, yeah, we started on tax filing remittance. So we've been in touch with our tax service provider. We needed some paperwork on our side, and we got that in now. So we're unblocked on that. And we're going to be exploring, where the majority of our direct premium hosts are located, if those jurisdictions allow us as a platform to file and remit for you. And then we're going to start doing the registrations for those. So this will be an ongoing process. We're probably going to get a nice bucket of jurisdictions, state level, as well as kind of county level lodging tax and sales tax registrations to start, run that as an experiment. We'll communicate with you before that happens, but you'll start to see, hopefully, depending on where you're located, some of your pass-through tax will just start to file and remit for you. But there will be good communication there. So we make sure that is not a surprise to you, and it should be good news. Again, we're trying to save you time. So that's the goal. And I think I've been talking for long enough. And we'll pass it off to the core and connectivity updates from Emily.
Cool. Hey, everybody. Good to be here today. All right, let's jump straight into some fixes and improvements this week. First, Vrbo. Can't go without mentioning this. We had a couple of Vrbo incidents this week. We've explained before kind of how our integration with Vrbo works. We made a strategic decision way back when to maintain an unofficial integration, which actually has a ton of benefits for you as a host. You don't have to process your own payments, being one of them. As a result, sometimes VRBO makes some changes and we have to be reactive to those. So this week we had a couple situations like that where VRBO made some changes to their API and we had to jump in and fix that. We were able to successfully reconnect most of those VRBO accounts without you needing to do anything, but you may have received a notification that it was disconnected. If you are still disconnected, what's probably happening is that you need to go through the 2FA process, which we can't do for you because it has to text you the code and you have to input that. So check your connected channels if you've gotten a notification and make sure to reconnect your VRBO account. We have been able to make these fixes pretty quickly past couple of weeks, but I know that it does interrupt you guys for a couple hours at a time. So we're continuing to work on that and staying on top of that as we see changes come through VRBO side. Next, a fix for those using Schlage. So if you've created a code on your Schlage app, not through Hospitable, like on the actual Schlage app, you now maintain full control over that code. During the migration process, we had to kind of take control of that for a bit. We've given that control back to you. So if you're creating a code like for your cleaner or for a maintenance person or something like that directly on the app, those should no longer be interrupted. So that is a good update. And a lot more smart lock updates are coming soon. We'll share more details with you in the future. And next, okay, so several months ago, we announced that our Suggest a Reply with AI was going to be available for all of our hosts for free who are on our current base subscription, which is $40 a month. So some of our hosts are still on our old base subscription, and we've decided actually to give even those hosts access to use those suggested replies up to 5 times a month. We really think AI is the future. We're doubling down on that. And we want everybody to be able to kind of get a taste of it and see what it can be like and how it can help save you time. So if you're on an old base subscription, you can use 5 suggested replies each month. And if you need more than that, we would ask that you upgrade at that time and you'll be prompted into an upgrade flow once you reach your 5th suggestion. We'll share more about AI in a little bit. All right, next one. Cool. So those are some changes from the past couple of weeks. What we're focusing on now, we've really been heads down on some big improvements. So hopefully in the next couple of town halls, we'll be able to share with you that these are finished. One of them being occupancy-based pricing across all channels. So what this is going to allow you to do is set additional fees based on the occupancy. So like you might allow 2 guests, and if you allow a 3rd, it's this much more. You'll be able to set that within Hospitable, and we'll push that out to all channels. It will be supported across the board. Next, devices dashboard. Lots of cool things coming here. We've really been working hard on our smart lock integrations, and we want to give you a single place to control all of that really quickly, whether you're looking at your laptop or on the go on your mobile device. So we'll be sharing a lot more about what this devices dashboard can look like and what you'll be able to do with it in the coming weeks. Similarly, the metrics dashboard. I know last town hall, Alyssa shared a lot of great updates there. Thank you guys so much for giving such good feedback in that town hall. That's going to propel us to move forward and make sure we're building something that's really going to benefit you. And last but not least, up next, we're still working hard on parent-child. This is another thing we've really benefited from, a lot of awesome office hours the past couple of weeks. So thank you guys for scheduling those. I'll echo Andrew there. People are doing parent-child setups for a lot of different reasons, and it's been really great to learn how you're configuring this, how you're going about it. And we're actually going to be able to support 2 unique configurations with Hospitable, which is something different than what most of our competitors are doing. We're going to be able to support like the typical duplex use case where like you've got a duplex and 2 sides that you allow to be rented out at the same time. And we're also going to be able to support another configuration where you might have like a really large house that on weekdays you rent out like a smaller portion of that. And so in that case, like the child property cannot be rented out at the same time as other children. This is a really cool optimization strategy we've seen a lot of hosts doing, and it's been really big. Like on Twitter, a lot of people are talking about it. We're really excited to see a lot of hosts experimenting with this as a way to make more money, especially on those weekdays that are tougher to book. So we're continuing to work on our support of that and hope to be able to announce a private pilot soon that many of you have already signed up for. So thank you for that. And next, all right, more AI. So we have so much in the works to leverage AI to save you guys more time. The first big thing we did was suggest replies with AI in the inbox. We've seen awesome usage of that, saving a lot of host time, which is really, really great. There's a lot more we can do. So as of today, when you guys are using suggest a reply with AI in the inbox, we're feeding ChatGPT information about your listing and also the conversation that you're having with that particular guest. So it knows a lot and is able to draft a suggestion for you to review. But there's a lot more we can teach it, right? And what we're going to start with is policies. Okay, so what do we mean by policies? Think about early check-in. A lot of these things that you guys are allowing or not allowing are not simple yes and no questions. Early check-in is a really good example. Do you allow early check-in? Yes, but under what conditions? Maybe you only allow it if there, isn't a same day checkout. Or do you allow pets? Yes, maybe you allow pets only if they're under 35 pounds, or maybe you only allow 2 pets, or whatever it may be. We realize that these are not simple black and white yes or no questions. And so we want to learn from you all. What types of policies are you putting in place? And how are you going about holding to these policies for across your portfolio? So we've got a little poll. Miles, if you can trigger that, that would be awesome. So here's the question. As host, do your policies change for every single property, or are they standardized across all properties in your portfolio? So do you have one house over here that you're doing something different for than the other house? So if you guys could take a second and answer that poll, that will really help in our research as we figure out how to make the best decisions here. I'll give you a second to answer before we reveal the results.
We got a good 70 responses so far, but looks like a few people are still responding. So I'll give it a few more seconds.
Cool.
Sorry for the folks joining on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. Feel free to let us know in the comments. We appreciate that you can't see this poll right now on Zoom. So that's just shy of 100 votes. So I think we can end it there.
Sorry, before you end, we're having some questions on the chat, and I just wanted to address there. Eric is saying, do you select both options on the questionnaire? Only allows one. Well, that means you really need to have at least a level of granularity for each property, even though it may not be for everything, which is actually quite good feedback. And yeah, same Ryan, mostly standard across properties, but have some properties that differ. So I think you need the granularity at the property level. Yeah, Kevin saying the same thing. So yeah, just using.
Yeah, good comments.
Okay. I think we're there. No more responses. So share the results. There we go.
Cool. Okay.
65.
Awesome. Yeah, it looks like most people do have different policies for each property. Yeah, I'd be really curious to hear, like, those of you who are applying the same policies across your properties, are they all properties that you own? And are those who have specific policies, maybe property management companies for other people who have different owners who have their own preferences? Awesome. Thank you guys for voting on that. I also have a type form that I'm going to drop in the chat if any of you guys would like to contribute additional feedback to this policies work and have a say in how we actually use this to improve our AI capabilities. Fill out this type form and give us a little bit more information, and we will really appreciate the feedback and the help. That's all I got for today.
Thank you very much, Emily. So just before we move into the Q&A section, I just want to do a reminder about a lot of contests that we have. So we have 2 VRMA International Conference tickets to give away. That's happening October 22nd to the 25th in Orlando. If you're interested in winning a ticket, shoot us an emoji in the chat and you will be entered into that draw. If you've already giving us an emoji in the chat. Don't worry, you're already entered. You have to do it once. This is just an announcement for the late joiners. Likewise, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, you can give us an emoji reaction there as well to let us know that you're interested. We'll do a draw after the event, and then we'll let you know over email or social comment, and on where you've done your emoji, whether you've won. Okay, so I think it's time for our Q&A section. We don't have any raised hands yet, but just a reminder that there is a reaction button at the bottom. If you click that, there is a raise hand functionality, that will let us know if you're interested to come on stage. And we do have a couple of people now raising their hands, just like that. So first off, I'm not sure how to pronounce this name because there's a mixture of caps and lowercase, but Drodio.
Yeah, you got it. This is Drodio.
There we go.
Hello again.
Yes,
how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. First of all, phenomenal town hall. Thank you just for all the information. And PC, you and I spoke a couple of days ago. So by day, I'm the CEO of a startup in the San Francisco Bay Area called Storytel, which is an AI startup. And by night, I am a property manager starting to use Hospitable and very thankful for the platform. And I've been using the Storytel Chrome extension, which is a Chrome extension that my startup is building to generate 5-star reviews from my guests. And it's working really, really, really well. So I just put a link into the chat about how it works. Thanks, PC. And if anybody else wants to try it, I'm happy to share more. I'll put my email address in here. But yeah, it's just a really easy way to give your guests draft reviews about their stays. And they've all been putting them up and leaving 5 stars. So very, very, like you're saying, AI is the future and it's working very well for me. And I thought I would share that tip. And here is my email if anybody has questions or wants.
So now it's live to everyone, just 200 of your closest friends. That was clear, to be clear, Roger's intervention was clear with me before, and actually I'm the one who invited him, so he can share basically about his own experience. What I like about this approach is basically I'm helping guests generate high value reviews. And so far, it's definitely something on the Chrome extension that has to basically be shared with the link. So there are some off-platform policy challenges, and depending on the OTA that you prefer or working with the most. But yeah, that just was an opportunity to say that there are plenty of solutions that's happening that are shared. Yeah, Giorgio, I'm going to share your email again to everyone because you shared that just with hosts and panelists. So yeah, I just thought that you could share that and get some feedback already. Obviously, we're very interested in our own roadmap about doing more things around artificial intelligence. That's something that was said, especially generating content ad hoc for each review, generating replies to reviews that actually are replying to the thing we're talking about. And it seems like I froze. I'm sorry, I didn't step there.
Yeah.
I'm going to do my best.
But
we
can still hear you.
We do. Yeah, my camera is basically going on strike of French. So yeah, this is basically there's still a busy roadmap. But yeah, we'd love to hear, especially your thoughts to our host, basically about what you think about that approach and how we could make that work for our own customers, for you and for your guests.
Thank you for an amazing platform.
Thank you, Roger. Good luck, good continuation on Hospitable and your hosting business.
Thank you very much. So next up, we have Ola, inviting you on stage. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can indeed.
Perfect. I was just asking about the tax remittance and being able to apply for permits. I just wanted to understand how that's going to work.
Sure. Yeah, so what we're looking at now is for direct premium. Everything up until this point has been passed through taxes, which means that when you use direct, part of the terms of service for direct is that we make it quite clear that you are responsible for paying and remitting for your taxes until we are. So you are responsible for getting your own permit. That's something that we can't do for you. What we're going to start doing though is some states, some counties, some city, municipalities, jurisdictions, all the different levels of taxes, they do allow us to remit and file for you as a platform. So if you're already working with OTAs and you're not having to deal with taxes, that's a good sign that we're at least legally able to file for you. Some areas will not allow us to do that. And then it's just the work of, there being something like 12 or 15,000 tax jurisdictions in the United States. We're going to start picking off the ones where we can have the highest impact.
So I have a question about that. So obviously, when you look at the likes of Airbnb, who's probably the biggest platform filer, they do make mistakes where they wouldn't remit on all the taxes on a particular property. How are you guys planning to deal with something like that?
Well, we take the stance. We work with a specialized tax provider for this, but we take the stance that we collect all taxes that apply to you. So even if we're not liable as a platform to collect them, we could get away with not collecting them. We still collect them when we pass them through to you. So some of them, though, or at least all of them now, you are responsible for filing. So I think we have a different stance than Airbnb in that, where they aren't collecting some taxes that we are. We have had this feedback from some hosts that say, oh, it looks like you guys are more expensive. Well, that's something where it's actually, you have to look at the total cost of the booking to you as a tax liability. And if that is the case of where you are, and we're collecting taxes that you are liable for, but Airbnb is not, that's something we would expect you to make up with the markup rates. So if it's like a 2% lodging tax that we collect, Airbnb doesn't, then you could do a 2% kick to your base price in Hospitable. And that would then make it more of an accurate comparison when people are price shopping on your direct site, right?
So is there an example of a jurisdiction that you're currently collecting? Just so I can understand.
No, this is something that's our Q4 focus. So we have not started registering to collect tax yet. It's something that we are doing moving forward, and there will be good communication. If you have properties in those jurisdictions, we'll be notifying you that our tax position will change, and we'll start filing those for you. And Pierre has
so as of right now, we do not. So we still have to pay the taxes, even though you collected.
Yep, you're going to see a metrics report in your Hospitable backend. So any direct premium reservations that come through, or direct basic, if you've added your own taxes, those will be passed through to you and noted in your metrics report. And you need to look at those. You need to find out what your jurisdiction's filing time period is. And you are responsible as the host for making timely and accurate filings based on what we collect from the guest and pass through to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and right now there's no data on that, right? Available.
It's all in the metrics report. And if you're on premium, what you can do is you can go into your property section in Hospitable, and there's now a new direct tab. We just announced that at the last town hall 2 weeks ago, and that will show you which taxes we are collecting, and you'll see those in the metrics report getting passed through to you. So if you need to make a calculation, you can go just pull down through all the time that you've been live with direct. We'll give you a nice printout, and it'll say, Hospitable as the platform or direct as the platform, and pass through as the status of those taxes. And that's what you need to be filing.
Yeah.
Okay.
The clarification I wanted to bring is, and that's just from my own understanding, there is a calculation, there is a charging, there is the filing, there's a remitting. We do for now the first two parts. So we calculate all the taxes and the right amount of the taxes that are due for each reservation that's happening on the direct premium. We pay and we charge the guest for it. We pay that out to you so that you have the right resources in time on your own to file. To file and pay those taxes directly. So remit, I think that would be remitting, if I'm correct. What we are going to be doing is, since we are the merchant of record and want to be really the facilitator of the entire cycle, we are going to start working on filing and remitting. So we will be taking that. We will be the taxes that we currently are charging the guests for. We'll be keeping that money ourselves. We'll be filing and paying the taxes on your behalf, or rather on our own behalf, considering that depending on the jurisdiction happening there. So we'll bet you just receive then the net amount of the accommodation, cleaning fees, everything that you've decided to charge as a rate, excluding the taxes. We'll be taking care of that ourselves. We are not planning to charge an extra fee right now. That may change. There are additional costs for this. That's part of the general conversation about basically how we scale this thing. But we basically want to make sure, more importantly, that you are fully compliant. And that's something that we are taking a very hard stance on. Unlike OTAs that basically may have an agreement for spotty agreements with some jurisdiction and not for all of them, we will be charging and paying for as many jurisdictions as we can, legally speaking.
In the case that we are not legal, where we don't have a permit, are you still going to be filing on behalf of that property? And how are you going to be verifying that the permit exists?
So if you're operating now, that's on you to make sure that you have the permits that you need to file those taxes that we're passing through to you. And the fact that we're collecting and passing them through to you, it does mean you have an obligation to file them. That's a pretty, it's skewing quite quickly into tax fraud if we're collecting taxes, passing them through to you, and they're not getting filed. So that is something that, if you don't have the permits, that is something that needs to be rectified. If we do take over the taxes and we become the person that's filing and remitting for you, you would not need a permit in that situation, but we don't have that list of jurisdictions right now. So there is, a gap, at least if we do end up doing that in the future, we're not doing it now, and I would be non-compliant.
I want to clarify as well, taxes are due in any case, whether you have a short-term rental with a permit to a jurisdiction or not. It's basically something that is an obligation because you are engaged into a business activity, and that is short-term lodging. Short-term rental permits, etc., according to your jurisdiction, is something a little bit different, but regulation, not strictly sensi taxes. So that may depend, but I think that basically is the gist of it, as I understand it myself, for the United States.
We're not tax attorneys, so make sure you do your due diligence. And on the Direct Basic side, I see there's some people in the comments. We're not a party to that transaction like we are the merchant of record for premium. So it really is up to you. You have the full responsibility to make sure that you're accurately calculating your taxes. We'll collect whatever you tell us to collect there, but we're just the software provider with Direct Basic. So you need to make sure, really, with Basic, that you're doing your homework and making sure that you've got all your permits and everything and taxes calculated correctly. Okay, I think we're going to have to move on to the next one. And I just want to say there's several GVR questions. So just maybe clear those up. So we had, let's see, for direct and especially with the GVR integration, are there ways to get reviews pulled in? Excellent question. Yes, we have an API for Google to do that. We didn't do that in the initial implementation, but we'll probably follow that up. I think it's actually already in progress, possibly done tomorrow. We'll be feeding in your Airbnb reviews into Google very soon. So that's going to happen. And I was able to find my properties, but will likely lose out. Okay, without the reviews. We understand that does help your rankings. So those will be in soon. And then some other questions around, how do I know if my property is live? We're looking at different interfaces we can use for Google to update the status within Hospitable, so you'll be able to see that. We're also hoping that we'll be able to pull the property URLs. We're still doing a bit of discovery on that, but those are, now that we're live, there's a little bit of that focus that we don't have to provide to the pricing audit that was going on, and we can now provide to really fleshing out the integration and making it work well. So that's reviews, statuses, links to your GVR properties, and you can do a Google search and find them. If you don't find it, it might be under review, but we'll hope to clear up that status very soon for you.
Cool. Thank you. And then Calvin, I know you have your hand raised and you shot your message in the chat, but I'll let you come on stage to ask as well.
Hey, how are you all? My question is regarding the guest experience. So I've had, I think, 2 direct bookings now so far with Hospitable, and they get the emails and they think it's a scam because it's not the name of my business. It has no logo or any sort of delineation that this is the short-term rental that they just booked. So I'm curious to know, similar to other hosting platforms like Guesty and Uplisting and things of that nature, are you guys going to allow us to white label the email? Can we get some sort of text message option? Because some people don't read their emails, right? It's just a whole bunch of emails going to one thing that they've signed up for so many subscriptions, so on and so forth. A text message option or SMS feature would be great. I'm curious to know if that's in the pipeline, because I have been getting guests that are nervous to direct book because of the communication that the system pushes out.
Okay. On the SMS front, that's something that has come up in previous town halls. I think we have every inclination that that's something that would be great to add. We'd like to have you be able to switch in the inbox to chat by SMS or by email. With the white labeling, how exactly would you expect that to work then with the email inbox as well? So
I guess when I look at the email that they received, it has the exact title of the Airbnb, but I wanted to say something along the lines of like an intro message to say, hey, you just booked da 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 da, instead of just the name of the Airbnb.
That you can change. So if you go into Hospitable, okay. In the property section, for each property, there's something called a public name. And the public name is what we use for direct. So that might be different than your OTA channels. You are able to customize that. And that's the name we'll use. And we'll create, a reservation ID for them. What else on the white labeling? Are you having the expectation that you could connect your own domain and be sending emails from your own domain?
No, more so I just need the email to kind of look like it came from my business, because it looks like it came from someplace completely separate than my business. There's no sort of
Are you on direct basic or premium?
Basic. The reason I'm kind of hesitant on premium is because it just doesn't sound like it's 100% like solidified yet, and I want to wait till that y'all are like, yeah, we have everything that we want to include in the taxes and so on and so forth. But
probably by 2030 we should have everything.
Yeah,
I think in
2030. It's a product. It's still evolving. It's changing every week, and we have major upgrades, obviously, that we are reporting on. So a product is never finished. When it's finished, it's already too late to jump on the bandwagon. We have 2 million. We're gonna do 4 by the end of the year. So the thing I want to say, obviously, you are basic, you are on direct basic. So at this case, you're not basic. You are a subscriber of direct basic because you accept, and you know what it means. So I can appreciate, I can hear that. For premium, this is something a bit different, because obviously they have been familiar because they see the charge from Hospitable. That's basically the middle party. That is occurring. I would just want to warn against, obviously, you can do whatever you like on your direct booking website. Be careful about changing your public name, because it's also what your guests are going to be searching on Google. They want to search for your Airbnb listing name, and they want to find, obviously, your direct booking website. So don't get something completely different from your OTA, because that's actually your best SEO premium to get discovered and get bookings from your guests that may have found you on OTA, and then they want to switch over on direct, and that's totally legit. For the white labeling, changing that under your own domain is going to be a bit challenging. I think I'm not sure what logos would be like. You want to adjust the communication. That feels like, to me, like it's a completely different product that's very long tail. And if we're doing that, well, we don't want to work on quotes. We want to work on a bunch of features that I think we believe at this point could have a greater impact. So what I would say still is, if you could share basically what you would like to change on the communication, on the email communication, because I feel
because I may have used the wrong term. That's definitely a possibility.
White labeling is a term that I'm very excited about, especially from the sales perspective. And we tried. We've had plenty of requests for white labeling. Are you going to be contributing to the cost of maintaining those features? Because it's really long tail.
I guess if I could kind of make it a little more simpler, it literally says at the top, this message was sent using hospitable.com, which I'm not opposed to, but the actual, when I see it on the Google,
there's a reply
email
before that line, reply above this line, so that we can pass. So that's so that we can pass the emails and they show up on your inbox.
Right, but the actual, so like on my Google, I can change my photo, right? But the photo comes from, it's like the blank gray template, that piece. Can I change that?
I'm not sure what you mean. On your contact details as you appear to guests?
Yeah, yes. So like even if I send an email, this photo that you see here, that photo will send along with that email. And I just want to be able to update the photo that they receive that's in the contact portion. I don't know how to explain it, but go ahead.
Okay. It's interesting.
Maybe I just need to get on y'all's
Yeah,
Which is
send me,
already-
listen, send me, I think we're going to want to answer more questions.
Yeah.
Send me an
Yeah.
email to pc@hospitable.com and we'll be to see what really is needed.
Or
It's
or
not,
book
it
an
may not be
office hour
widely, but
call.
yeah, or book an office hour call with
Yeah,
Andrew,
for
so
sure.
you can have more time. In any case,
I'll
I will
do that.
forward your email with Andrew, so it's going to be ending in the same bucket. Thank
Yeah,
you,
no,
thank you for sharing that, Calvin.
I think
Seems like
there's something
you-
there, but yeah, something to be fleshed out. So thanks, Calvin.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Calvin. So now moving on, Amir, inviting you on stage now to ask your question.
Hello, how can we help you?
Hello, good afternoon. I have a small issue with the reporting thing. I'm using approximately Hospitable for approximately 6 to 8 months. I have more than 15 properties which are active right now on Hospitable. But till today, I'm not able to take a clear report for my properties. Like whenever I'm checking, filtering everything, we need something like a separate section, especially for the bookings. For example, to take like September's booking. When I'm downloading the report, it has too many things which we don't need, which we don't use. And the information that I need, like the price, the dates of the check-in, check-out, how was the property's performance, for example, for this property or that property. We need something more clear with the reports.
Hey, I hear you. I can jump in and answer this. I would encourage you to go back and watch our last town hall. We totally acknowledge that our existing version of metrics is TMI, frankly. We give you all the information we have, and it's really difficult to make sense of it. Our new version of metrics, which we've been working really hard on, was shared in great detail during our last town hall, including visuals, so you can see what exactly it's going to look like. You'll be able to filter by property, see that like high level information you need, like what's the occupancy in the past and in the future. A lot of great stuff like that. So I'd encourage you to go back and watch the town hall from 2 weeks ago. It should be up on our YouTube channel to see that in more detail. And then if there's any other feedback you have in addition to what we already have planned coming soon, book an office hours and we can talk through what exactly you need.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate your help.
Cool. Thank you very much for the question. And I just shared in the chat the last town hall as well for anyone looking for that too. So now moving on, Tracy, inviting you on stage to ask your question. Hello, Tracy.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
I can indeed.
Great. So I am new to direct booking, so I apologize if this is just me not knowing what I'm doing. I ran a test booking the other day, and the messaging was a little confusing as a guest booking. So that's really my question, is about some revisions. Initially, it talks about, complete your verification, and then the host will contact you to accept or decline within 24 hours. Well, if the guest clears verification, that happens automatically, instantly. So there's a little disconnect between the communication that's going out to the guest and the actual process on the back end. So that's my first question. Okay.
So yeah, if you have instant book enabled and then the guest completes the verification and gets the lowest risk score green, when they complete it, you would immediately be messaging them and saying that you've accepted the reservation.
Right, but they're being told that there's going to be an approval process. So I'm just pointing out some messaging inconsistency. The guest experience map that I just tested was very confusing versus what was being communicated. So you guys were talking about some of the other white labeling stuff before, and I think some of this is related, but I think what I'm pointing out can probably be fixed relatively easily compared to that more robust feature.
Yeah, we can make some adjustments on the language used there.
Yeah. And then also the other thing I saw was that my automated message which is drafted for Airbnb, also immediately went out after that. So like the booking confirmation, and again, it's maybe that I just don't know what I'm doing. Is there a way to do separate messages between those two?
Yeah, so you're able to control the guest experience part of the product. You'll see all your messages can be scoped to different platforms, right? And so when you get a direct reservation, we'll only send the messages that you have checked direct platform for them. And so if you want to manage your messaging separate for like Airbnb, you would just create a different message then, and then scope either message to the appropriate platform, right? And then that would let you have a complete set of custom messaging for direct.
One, perfect. Okay, and you answered my question about the title. And I do agree with the other gentleman that having hospitable all over from the support email to the header is confusing. And if you can't white label it for each individual, honestly, just take it off. Like less is more, in my opinion here.
Yeah, we did. And as a result of that, we had replies really all over the place. The problem is really not that. I mean, I can hear the feedback, but everything that's happening, every pixel comes with a little bit of a wall in its story. So it's not something that we had initially, and it's something that we have added because we really need to communicate to reply above that line. Otherwise, we could not basically make sense of what we were replying. There's a style of email that probably will not be able to process very nicely, which is the interview style, when you basically have a guest that will reply quote by quote. And email is suboptimal in many ways. And so we have technical challenges that were answered by this specific thing. But
and
yeah,
if we are talking,
I can hear you about the Hospitable.com reference nonetheless.
Yeah. If we are talking about direct premium, though, we do actually have some responsibilities to communicate our contact information. The guest is making a booking with us as a merchant of record. And in some cases, we do have to be kind of a middle person in the relationship and be reachable. And so, some of those things aren't able to go away because we're the ones that are managing like your chargeback liability on direct premium, right? And so we have to be contactable directly by the guest if needed.
That's fair. It was just something that I think it could use a bit more clarity.
We hear you.
And then the other thing that I'm not a huge fan of in this like layout is that you guys break out all the extra fees instead of rolling them into the accommodation line. Is that necessary?
It's complicated. We've gotten feedback that like direct host would like them all to be bundled together, and direct is their fee-free channel. It gets complicated when you look at promo codes and you look at taxes. And I think when you look at compliance issues, it depends on where people, is that money actually going to you? Who's liable for taxes? If the taxes don't really add up, if you do a 10% promo code, is the expectation that only applies to the nightly rate or that applies to the whole bundle? We have a guest service fee with direct premium. If we bundle that as well, that again is complicating what a promo code or a tax looks like. And it kind of obfuscates and becomes non-transparent to the guest. So it's an open question. It's something we do think about. But there's no, I think, good answer. I think I've noticed last time I was looking at some OTA bookings, they were pulling out fees that we bundle already. So like management fee and community fee and resort fee, we typically bundle in the nightly rate. I see now those are being separated from some of the OTAs. So it's obviously something that they're thinking about too. And I don't know, I mean, what's your motivation, just so I can understand it? But I don't have a good answer today.
Sure. So the cleaning fee is getting broken out in, I guess it's as an additional lodging fee is the way the line item is. So you have accommodation and you have additional lodging fees. Service fee and taxes, I have no problem with those being line itemed. But when you're talking about, because I would assume, and I could be wrong, that the cleaning fee is taxable. It is for me anyway. Yep. And or markets I operate in. So it doesn't matter if the cleaning fee is on a line by itself or not, it's still taxable. And so by breaking that out, there's a huge movement, as I'm sure you're all aware, that no one wants to pay extra fees. They want clear, transparent pricing. And I'm getting a ton of feedback. This property has a $450 cleaning fee. That's my cost. Actually, it's below my cost. And so it's not palatable to guests to call that out. But if it's rolled into a weekly rental, they don't care a bit. So it's going to be problematic for me.
Okay. Yeah, and we just got feedback that people want the nightly price on the calendar as well, and obviously we can't do that if we go that route as well, like the fixed fees versus the those. But yeah, I hear you. I think we will do something there. I don't have the answer for you tonight though, but thanks for the feedback.
No, I appreciate it. That's all. I just wanted to give you some feedback. I just ran this as a test to be the guest experience so that I could know what questions they were going to raise before it happened. So I appreciate you guys for doing it.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing.
Thank you,
appreciate it.
Yeah,
cheers.
So it's called fee inflation. That's basically enemy number one on Airbnb's internal product team. You've heard Brian Chesky doing press rounds in the past few days, and really about killing the cleaning fee if they can get a chance to. So there is indeed a movement across the entire industry. So it's be interesting to see what we can answer for that, because we have a bit more control directly. Okay, Miles, who's next?
Okay, yeah, we've only got 5 minutes left, but we have 2 more people.
Sorry.
So we're going to try and get to them. Sorry, Andrew, are you trying to jump in? Okay, cool. So Carissa, Carissa, you're up next. Stop scratching your chin, Andrew.
Yeah,
Carissa,
actually, that's my wife. You guys got me?
Yeah.
Okay, hey, so my only question is I have one property that keeps on getting double booked on VRBO. So like, they just like, if I block it off or if it's already booked on Airbnb for some reason, and I'm assuming there's nothing I can really do on Hospitable. It seems to me like it's kind of VRBO's problem where the connection keeps going down. I just want to kind of confirm there's nothing really I can do through Hospitable to prevent that.
Hi, who am I speaking with? You're not Carissa. Who are you?
My name's Eric.
Okay, hi, Eric. Jen here on the support team. If you haven't already, shoot us a chat and give us an example of one of those double bookings. We'd love to help take a look and see if there's something that's maybe not linked correctly or set up differently, and make sure there isn't something else at play here. So just shoot us an example.
Just go through support there.
Yeah, click on the chat on Hospitable and just let us know you're getting double bookings, and send us an example of 2 overlapping bookings so we can take a look with you.
Okay. That's it.
Great. Thank you very much, Eric.
Before we take the next guest, sorry, there is a question that's been bugging me on the Q&A section, and I think it's too good to pass on. I have a question for Andrew. How will Google Vacation Rentals be charging us, and what is the cost? Is there a fee for Google to appear on Google Vacation Rentals?
Not today. I think and nothing has been actually insinuated, to be fair. I think there is an opportunity to spend on Google if you'd like to advertise. But at the moment, it is a completely fee-free lead gen channel. So the flow is discovery happens on Google, links to your official site, which is your direct booking site. And then it's just a direct transaction after that. There is nothing from Google required as far as fees.
Of course, after that, you have either direct basic or direct premium fees, payment processing, compliance, and all. But Google doesn't take its own cut. Miles, I give it back to you. I think we're having Jen over.
Correct,
Jen.
we are. Hello, Jen.
Hello, Jen. You can unmute yourself. You're on stage now, Jen. It seems like we don't have Jen.
No, yeah, it's okay. We've got a backup. So we have Nate instead. Hello, Nate.
We have a backup, Jen.
2 questions. One for the Google Direct, the Google Vacation Rental. I know, for example, in Airbnb, I had my address set to like this general area, right? For like obvious security reasons. Are we able to do that in Google Vacation Rentals as well, or no?
I know they're working off of GPS points, so I'm not sure how you would be able to kind of obfuscate your address if you wanted to do that.
Hopefully, like what I want, like in Airbnb, right, just says like around here. I think they should do like a okay. So I had to check that. The second question is there? I know you guys are doing kind of updates to direct booking and whatnot. Is there like from the roadmap plans to update the mobile app? Particularly around like logging in. I think last time I asked this question, the statement was like,
we made some changes.
Oh,
some
yeah.
changes.
Yeah.
Emily, what did we do?
Kate, I remember you asking this question. So after you posed that, we did take a deeper look and we made one of, I think, 3 total changes that we're going to make. I don't know if this is the specific issue that was impacting you, but with the as we call them internally, forced logouts on the mobile app, we found that basically if your account had a bunch of secondary users and one of your users changed their password, we would actually log out everybody on the entire account, which was not great because like you might not have been the one to change your password, but you were impacted by that. So we fixed that issue and made it based on each specific user. So if you have another user on your account who changes their password, only they get logged out and you don't. The next piece that we're working on and should have done hopefully by the next town hall is we're basically like returning the wrong error code if something happens and it's actually forcefully logging you out. If you run into an error, we should return a different type of error code that doesn't log you out. Probably more information than I should get into on a town hall, but the point is we know what's going on and we think we can fix it. The very last piece, which is a feature, not a bug, is we have the mobile app logging out every 28 days, I believe, for security. We're still going to take a deeper look at that because yes, while we designed that for security purposes, it's like super inconvenient for people on their mobile app. This happens on the web app too, but like you probably just don't notice it because you've got like passwords, stuff auto filling in. So we have a plan. We know some things that we can do to fix that so that we can like save your like a login on a specific device. So yes, heard your feedback, implemented one of 3 things that we're going to be doing longer term, and we'll keep updating you on future town halls on that.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, the last one was the one that was really getting to me, the 28 days.
Every 28 days. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so I'm excited for some updates on it.
Yeah, cool.
Great. Thank you very much, Nate. So I think that's all we have time for today. We have already gone a minute over and we've answered a lot of questions. PC, do you want to add any parting words? I feel like you've not had much time on the mic today.
No. I think I would let the error of the hour, Andrew, to share some parting words because definitely his team has announced quite a few milestones. Thank you very much.
I'm still busily typing away in the Q&A here for all the people that have questions. So.
Yeah, there's been a few. You want to address some last questions, some last from Q&A? So if we save your fingers. I was just told that apparently I don't want to add French Canadian to the user interface because I'm French from France. It's like, where do you guys get those ideas? We're not adding any other languages, just simply because we don't have the time, we don't have the resources. Yeah, I'm guessing it's too hard to imagine. So something's coming from it. I don't know. Every week I'm having my little French moment. Andrew, what are some questions that you would like to answer? On direct, you're looking.
What left is still guest related or direct related. Will you give the owner the ability to set what fees and services are taxable? In our market, only the rent is taxable, not cleaning and other non-rent based services. That's strange because we're sending the right tax codes and being told that they're taxable from the tax service provider we work with. That'd have to be an individual investigation that we do, Scott. We kind of trust them to be making the right decisions since they're the professionals on it.
I have a question from Sean. Do you have plans to integrate views engagement across all platforms into metrics? I think we had design like that from back in the day on the metrics product. So it's not going to be something that's coming for upcoming metrics. That's what we talked about last time or 2 weeks ago that Miles has shared. So I really strongly invite you to revisit that. It's challenging simply because we don't get that insight from OTA connections. That's really something that they're going to keep proprietary and very close to their chest. But we already have some space in the product to do something like that for direct and help you track the performance of your direct booking website. Do you have plans to use AI to help provide recommendations to hosts on how to increase bookings? I think we want you to do that for direct in particular. For OTAs, I think really there is a competition on the channels and distribution, and it's going to be challenging to do so as a PMS, which is basically either middleman and or owner of their own channel. So I hope you can trust your favorite OTA to help you boost bookings onto their own channel. I would love to use AI at some point to help you increase your communication with guests, which is really some core mission of ours, in a way that basically if you save time, if you get a better setup. Andrew.
I think image filters as well is something we've kind of done a bit of discovery on, as far as AI image filter to clean up your images, make them look more appealing. That could be something.
It's not like there is plenty. There's plenty of work ahead. Okay, I think we're going to stop it there. Thank you so very much for everyone attending. I think we had a perfect number with more 100 people up until the end. We're going to have winners for the VRMA tickets. So it will be a pleasure to continue and having this town hall live from Orlando. Is that going to be that week?
No, it's not. That's the week
don't think so. It's the other week. So we'll have one town hall before extra, but we can probably have a bit of a get together in real life. Thank you very much. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Good evening from Brussels. Ciao, ciao.